Right now at noon, we're tracking some snow showers across southern Wisconsin, the latest in your first warn weather. Plus, President Trump delivering his State of the Union tonight, what to expect and how some Democratic lawmakers are planning to protest. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter. First warn weather leads us off at the top of the hour as southern Wisconsin is expected to see the return of some snow this afternoon. Our first warn meteorologist Savannah Brito here with the latest.
Thanks, Josh. We are tracking snow showers that are going to continue through the rest of the day. That is reaching areas far northwest of Madison right now. We'll see clouds sticking around as temperatures make a run for the mid to upper 30s. So because we are tracking temperatures that are going to be above freezing level, I do think some of us could see mixed precipitation, but most of us are going to be dealing with snow. Not only today, but we have more snow in the forecast tomorrow night. A brief warm up on Friday where temperatures are actually expected to reach the mid, maybe even upper 50s. It's literally only going to last for one day though. And then we have more snow and much cooler temperatures as we head into this upcoming weekend. It will be breezy out there the rest of the day. Gusts are going to approach about 30 to maybe as high as 35 miles per hour. And that's where most of us are going to sit the rest of the week. Winds come down a little bit for Saturday and Sunday, but it's still going to be breezy where winds could gust upwards of about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So that breezy pattern, get used to that. We are going to continue to see that. We're tracking more snow chances in the forecast going forward, but more on the Alberta Clipper system that'll bring us that snow pretty soon here coming up.
All right, Savannah, thank you. You can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. Download it for free in your phone's app store by searching WISC weather. Right now, a garage is a total loss after a fire in Columbia County this morning. Crews were called to Richmond Street for reports of a fire in an unattached garage. Firefighters had to also watch for downed power lines as they put out the fire. No one was inside at the time, but 3 vehicles and a motorcycle were lost in that blaze. A teenager is in custody in connection to a stabbing on Madison's west side. It happened on Grand Canyon Drive near the Beltline. Officers arrived on scene around 8:15 Sunday night. They saw someone running away from a building. Police arrested the person. They say he is 17 years old. Police say the victim got hurt trying to break up an argument between the suspect and another person. The victim is expected to survive. The Madison School Board held a moment of silence at their first meeting in honor of Sasha Rosen. On February 5th, the senior at West High School was killed in a crash on South Park Street while walking to a bus stop. Police say the driver, Kathleen Borgwart, was traveling about 60 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. Borgwart is charged with second-degree reckless homicide in connection with the crash.
Sasha is remembered as someone who was a lover of music and the arts, known for his beautiful story and the strong bonds he formed with his teachers and peers.
The school district has since changed bus routes on South Park Street. 4 weeks into the search for Nancy Guthrie, new details are emerging about the suspect in the doorbell camera video outside her front door. A law enforcement source now confirms to CBS News this masked man appears to have been at her home earlier than February 1st, the night police believe Guthrie was kidnapped. Guthrie's family is now offering a $1 million reward for her return, while also acknowledging she may no longer be alive.
Anyone that might have information who might have been scared to come forward, what if it implicates me? Right. She's saying, don't worry about that. Any information, there's a reward.
In one of the images released by the FBI, the subject is seen without a backpack here on the left, which is believed to have been captured prior to February 1st. In a statement overnight, the Peoria County Sheriff's Office said in part there is no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. President Trump has set new global tariffs following the Supreme Court's decision to strike down some of his previous ones, and farmers at home are feeling the uncertainty firsthand. The Wisconsin Farmers Union says because of the taxes, farmers have received less money for the products they produce. At the same time, they're paying more for what they need to make those products.
A bunch of the inputs that farmers have, like seed, fertilizer, equipment, parts, labor, anything that had aluminum and steel in it, those were all cost us more last year.
The president says a new 15% tariff will go into effect tomorrow. The president raised the tariffs using a specific section of the Trade Act of 1974. They can remain only in effect for 150 days if Congress doesn't extend them. President Trump is warning his State of the Union address tonight will be long. The White House says the president will address a number of issues from domestic policy such as the economy to foreign policy issues. Here's Natalie Brand.
Address tonight. You're going to hear a speech that is a celebration of 250 years of our nation and our nation's independence.
But with midterm elections less than 9 months away, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump's State of the Union address tonight will focus largely on the economy.
The president will lay out the case for why he and Republicans are better suited to continue tackling the affordability crisis that was created by the Biden administration and Democrats on Capitol Hill.
This speech comes as the president's signature policies, from tariffs to immigration enforcement, face pushback in the courts and Congress, and during week 2 of a partial government shutdown impacting the Department of Homeland Security.
He will call on Democrats in Congress to reopen the Department of Homeland Security.
Lawmakers and Americans at home will also be listening to what President Trump says about Iran, with a massive military buildup in the region and the administration weighing possible military action over the country's nuclear program.
Everything is on the table. It's the president's decision. We're here to help ensure that a deal is made. And I think Iran would be wise to make a good deal.
Nuclear talks are scheduled later this week, and the administration is briefing congressional leaders today. But Senator Alyssa Slotkin, a former CIA analyst, says she is concerned about the end game.
I was just in the Middle East last week, and there's definitely movement of a ton of military assets into the theater, a lot of jittery people. I think the most important thing is, what exactly are we trying to do in Iran? What's the strategic objective, and how are we going to achieve it?
Senator Slotkin will be among the Democrats attending tonight's speech. Others say they'll boycott altogether. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger will deliver tonight's official Democratic response. Back here at home, the Milwaukee Bucks are looking to play their way back into the playoffs, and you'll be able to watch them on our airwaves tomorrow night. Milwaukee takes on Cleveland on our sister station, that is TW. The game is at Pfizer Forum. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, why thousands of pounds of meatballs are being recalled, plus why FedEx says it's suing the Trump administration.
FedEx is suing for a full refund of President Trump's tariffs in the U.S. Court of International Trade. It's the first company to file a tariffs refund lawsuit since the U.S. Supreme Court struck them down as illegal last week. In a statement to CBS News, FedEx said supporting its customers is a top priority, adding that the action was necessary, quote, to protect the company's rights as an importer of record. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The president says a new 15% tariff will go into effect today on all countries for up to 150 days under a different statute. More than 9,000 pounds of Bremer family-size Italian-style meatballs have been recalled because they may contain pieces of metal. The affected 32-ounce bags of frozen meatballs have a best buy date of 10/30/26. The Department of Agriculture says there have been no reports of injuries so far. Consumers are urged to return the meatballs to the place of purchase for a refund. And Krispy Kreme and Oreo are back with another sweet collaboration. Starting today, customers can stop by to grab the new Golden Oreo Donut and Chocolate Oreo Dream Donut. The fan favorite Oreo Cookies and Cream Donut is also back. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. A little better on Wall Street today. Dow up 440 points, Nasdaq up 254, and the S&P 500 up this hour 49. Our call for action volunteers are in the building today, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Savannah's tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, we're talking heart-healthy diets in this week's Time for Kids segment. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Josh. Today we want to focus a little attention on what's getting done down at the state capitol that could impact Wisconsin farmers and agribusinesses. The Assembly Ag Committee has gotten a couple of items passed that are on the way to the governor's desk for signature or veto. We'll wait and see. One of it includes supporting soy-based firefighting foam that would qualify for Department of Natural Resources fire suppression grants, helping to expand that market. That's on the way to his desk. Also creating a veterinary loan repayment program for new veterinarians that promise they're going to stay in Wisconsin and practice large animal veterinary medicine. We are in dire straits when it comes to available veterinarians that can help out our dairy operators, our beef producers, those large animals. So we'll see how that goes. And also another option to provide some grant money for commercial driver's license training. A lot of Wisconsin businesses are offsetting those costs. Those grants might help them get more drivers in the seats faster. So a couple items moving to the governor's desk. We'll see what happens. Want to say congratulations to the Stoughton FFA dairy judging team. They secured the #1 spot during World Dairy Expo 2025, and now the all-female Stoughton team is trying to raise money so that they can be involved in the annual Royal Highland Dairy Show in Edinburgh, Scotland. First time in the school's history that they've had this opportunity. The team includes Kate Ely, Ella Sandhez, Anna Mickelson, Annika Christensen, and their advisor, Samantha White. So we wish them the best of luck, and I hope that their fundraisers are successful. They'll be on their way to Edinburgh, Scotland for that judging competition. And Wisconsin Custom Operators have seated their new board. Just want to congratulate some of the faces that are on that board. John Osterhaus, a director at large, Jeremy Heim from the north, Randy Clark, a corporate director, Josh Harkenreiter has been opted in for a special 2-year corporate director position after Steve Pesic retired. And of course, Maria Walt is there as their information specialist. So Wisconsin Custom Operators, those are all the folks that work with farms with things like manure management, application, pesticide application, etc. They just wrapped up their annual convention about a week ago. So the markets today in Chicago, you were talking about how the tariffs are still impacting the trade. One item that I learned about this morning with one of our commodity brokers, right now, because the Supreme Court overturned the tariffs that had previously been in place, that takes about 45 cents off of the Brazil soybean price. So now all of a sudden Brazilian soybeans look cheaper than U.S. soybeans right here in the United States. John Heinberg for Total Farm Marketing told me this morning that may lead to some of those poultry producers, hog producers, especially near places like Carolinas and farther south, to purchase at least a few Brazilian soybeans at a discount because of this ruckus with the tariff situation. That I thought was very interesting. Not much interest in the dairy trade today. Pretty quiet. Barrel cheese is unchanged. 40-pound block cheese up 4.5, 156. While AA butter also remains unchanged today, Josh. Like I said, another day just trying to figure out what these tariffs on again, off again situation means to Wisconsin commodities. And don't forget, one of our Wisconsin farmers, Doug Rebout from Janesville, is going to be in the audience taking part in the State of the Union address tonight in D.C.
All right. Yeah, a lot to watch over the next couple days. I know you got a busy day tomorrow, so we'll catch up with you again on Thursday. Thanks, Pam. Time now for your certified most accurate forecast with meteorologist Savannah Brito.
Thanks, Josh. We're tracking snow showers, but because temperatures are going to rise above freezing level, we could see a brief mixed period of precipitation, but most of southern Wisconsin only expecting snow as the sole form of precipitation. Temperatures will reach the mid to upper 30s later today under a lot of cloud cover. So we do have that quick round of wet packing snow already moving into areas northwest of Madison. Brief snow rates could approach about ½ inch per hour. That's not impressive, but we still could get light accumulations across southern Wisconsin. Madison southward, trace amounts expected. Northern Dane County northward might see around ½ inch, but then those areas that are along I-94 and especially northward could pick up to about another inch of additional snow. And that still could make for some slick evening commutes later in the day. That start time already northwest of here up through 1 p.m. peaking for most of us the closer to 1 p.m. and then to 4 p.m. that we get. I think 5 p.m. that's mainly going to be southeast of Madison. Madison, ending completely by about 6 to 7 p.m. Here's the areas and chances and time frame of when you can expect that. Viroqua, La Crosse, Black River Falls, Camp Douglas, Watoma, now to 1 p.m. Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, Lone Rock, Wisconsin Dells towards Fond du Lac, and then up towards Manitowoc, closer to about 1 to 2 p.m. For Madison, northern Dane County, Mineral Point, Platteville, the north sides of Platteville anyways, Watertown, Juneau, and Sheboygan, closer to 2 to 3 p.m. That's what I said yesterday, still expecting that right on 2 to 3 p.m. Now for southern Dane County, north of Janesville, Monroe, south of Platteville, towards Waukesha, and north of Milwaukee, 3 to 4 p.m. Clinton, Beloit, Lake Geneva, towards Racine and Kenosha, 4 to 5 p.m. That includes areas south down towards the Illinois-Wisconsin border to the Rockford region, and then also north of the city of Chicago. So on Future Check, you can see snow showers continue to push in as we get closer to about 1 to 1:30. That is going to be still northwest of here towards Prairie du Chien, north of Boscobel towards the Dells and Watoma. That is going to reach us about 2 to 3 p.m. I think it will be a little bit more widespread to the northeast with the latest model projections, and then that system slowly continuing to move out of here and southeast completely by dinner time around 6 to 7 p.m. After 7 p.m., that's going to be well out of here and eastward towards Lake Michigan. Like I said, accumulations are expected to be light. I think we could see trace amounts Madison southward. Down towards Monroe, south of Platteville, Janesville, might not really see much out of this. Definitely below an inch for Madison, but those areas that could see about half an inch are mainly going to be confined to areas well north of here and more so across central Wisconsin. Going to be a little bit more heavy and more of a prominent weather track for them. We're down to 30 tomorrow. Got another chance of night snow Wednesday night, up close to 40 Thursday. We're well into the 50s Friday. Looks beautiful, mild, but it will be breezy with winds gusting up to around 30 to 40 miles per hour, but literally only going to last a day. So take advantage of the Friday afternoon that we get with dry weather, because that changes over the weekend, much cooler. We're also tracking multiple chances of snow Saturday, Sunday, and into early next week on Monday. Back to you.
Savannah, thank you. Even though we're talking snow, it is time to get severe weather ready. The First Warn Weather Team is debuting a new special that breaks down how watches and warnings are issued, the latest research on southern Wisconsin's severe weather season, and what goes into calling alert days. You'll also be able to get behind-the-scenes looks at how the team conducts severe weather drills using the latest tracking technology to keep you safe. That special airs tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on News 3 Now. Our Spirit of Service Award is back. News 3 Now and Vortex Optics are looking to recognize a local veteran who's going above and beyond in service to others. Through March 22nd, we're accepting nominations for local veterans making a positive impact in the community. Voting will be open for the top 5 then from March 30th through April 12th. We'll announce the winner on April 15th live on News 3 Now this morning. Well, coming up next at noon, UW Health clinical dietitian Michelle Harnish is here with the importance of American Heart Month. We'll be right back. UW Health clinical dietitian Michelle Harnish is back with this month's health segment, and we're talking Heart Month for February.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's definitely a time to focus on our most important muscle, and we want to try to avoid any issues with cholesterol, heart disease that affects like stroke, heart attack, things like that. And while that can be pretty scary, there are a lot of things that we can do food-wise to kind of take charge and make some changes.
So you have 3 tips for us. We've got a graphic to show folks as well, because, you know, it's complex, but it's also kind of simple at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the first thing that we want to do is just focus on getting more fiber. And basically, fiber is plant foods that we can't really digest, but the benefit of it is that it acts like a plow or a shovel, and it kind of pulls cholesterol out of the body. So any kind of fruits, vegetables, whole grain, you're going to get some fiber. You want to avoid the processed ones. There's not as much fiber in those.
All right. And then the other one is obviously fats.
Yeah, you want to choose your fats wisely. So we talk about unhealthy fat a lot, and that's unsaturated fat, and the heart really likes unsaturated fat. So you get those from either plants or fish, so olives, avocados, nuts and seeds. When it comes to fish, it's like the salmon, tuna, mackerel, and trout. So we want to have obviously as much of the healthy fat as we can. With fish, we try to recommend at least 2 servings a week. But again, if you can make little changes, you know, an extra vegetable here, an extra serving of fish there, you can definitely impact your heart health.
And then finally, our last tip, we got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, the last one's a little bit trickier. Sodium. Now, we don't use the salt shaker as much anymore because the food comes to us pretty heavily salted. So the way to combat that is to really focus on less processed foods, use your own spices to season it up to replace that salty flavor we're so used to.
All right, yeah, staying heart healthy. Yeah. We want to do it. All right, well, thank you, Michelle. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, let's go now to Savannah for a final check of your forecast.
Thanks, Josh. We're tracking that snow moving into the area. That's going to be well out of here by dinner time, closer to about 6 to 6:30, but still prepare and anticipate for a slick evening commute. We're down to 19 tonight. Dry weather expected most of tomorrow with some sunshine until the evening and nighttime hours. That's when clouds thicken up and our next chance of snow moves in overnight into Thursday morning. We're all the way up to 54 Friday. Looks beautiful but breezy, and then much cooler with more snow for the weekend forecast.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is live at 4, and you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Make it a great day.